association with Sky Sports and Showtime, as sponsored by Red Square. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization. The President, Francisco Valcarcel, Supervisor Hans Herkner, along with the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Lord Brooks of Tremorfa. Our officials as appointed are as follows. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. David Davis, Dr. Jim Naismith, and Dr. Peter Fitzgerald. Timekeeper at the bell, we have Neil Berder. And judging this bout from ringside, we have from Wolverhampton, England, John Coyle. From Rouen, France, Robin Daupierre. And from Los Angeles, California, in the United States, Dr. Lou Moret. Our referee in charge of the action, working in this his 90th world title bout, Dave Paris. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world from Cardiff, Wales, it's showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger on my left. He is fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring wearing silver trunks with black trim, he joins us from Ozark, Alabama in the United States. He weighed in at the limit of 12 stone, or 168 U.S. pounds, with a record of 25 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. He has 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked the number 9 contender by the WBO. Please welcome the challenger and the 2-time WBA Super Middleweight Champion of the world, known as the Hammer from Bama, introducing Byron Gator Mitchell. And his opponent across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, hailing from and representing his home of Newbridge, South Wales. He weighed in at 11 stone, 13 pounds, 167 U.S. pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with 35 wins, no losses, 28 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he is making the 13th defense of his title. Here is the WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the world, boxing's pride of Wales, introducing the undefeated Joe calzaghe. Once again, our referee in charge, Dave Paris, now to give instructions, 12 rounds of action schedule.
I'll give you both instructions in the dressing room. Remember, boys, break when I tell you to, defend yourself at all times. Shake hands, boys. Good luck to you both.
Although it doesn't always work out, this one has the makings of a very competitive fight. Calzaghe very aggressive. Mitchell doesn't run. Calzaghe probably has more in his arsenal. But will his inactivity be a factor? Seemingly an upgrade in competition for Calzaghe following his last 2 fights. And Calzaghe, a completely different fighter than Mitchell's last opponent, Sven Aki. Here we go, the southpaw against the conventional fighter, Calzaghe in the black with the white trim. And Mitchell, all the way from Alabama to fight here in Cardiff, Wales, in the silver with the black and white trim.
Calzaghe very cognizant of the fact that Julio Cesar Green knocked Mitchell down twice in the first round of their fight, and he said, I may do something like that if I can find the right punch in the first round.
And Mitchell, of course, came back to stop Green in round 4. Known as a comeback fighter, a resilient fighter, but the Welshman, an awkward southpaw to deal with, and that is a push. Calzaghe has never been down in his career. He slipped on one of the advertisements. Calzaghe throws a lot of punches, a game predicated on aggression. Digging to the body there with the left hand. Now uppercuts. And back comes Mitchell with a flurry. Calzaghe fast and strong, and now, while it's not a major attribute, has exhibited one-punch power in the past. But his trademark is his work ethic.
Yeah, he throws lots of combinations. One of the problems Mitchell has sometimes had is when you throw combinations at him, he will just go into a cocoon and not counterpunch and not do anything. And he told us before this fight, he's worked very hard not to do that against Calzaghe. That would really put him in a deep hole in this fight.
That's right. Mitchell, historically not a fast starter, but he's been training to start faster.
Two good left hands by Calzaghe.
But Mitchell is tough, determined, durable. Calzaghe continues to score.
Calzaghe is squaring himself up to Mitchell. He's doing one of the things that I mentioned to Keith. He should. There you see him. He's standing square up, and he is potentially going to get hit with a counterpunch.
Mitchell very hittable. That's on display here as Calzaghe looks to end it in the first round. What a barrage by the Welshman.
Tremendous hand speed by Calzaghe. That's his stock and trade. He's making it count right now.
Big left hand that connected by Calzaghe. Upstairs on Mitchell, and he goes right back to it.
There you see Mitchell in that cocoon. When the combinations come, he's not punching back.
Another left hand by Calzaghe, right on the nose. This must feel like an extremely long round for the American. Now a right hand up top by Calzaghe. You're going to hear some kind of a roar when the bell sounds.
For Byron Mitchell, not a good start, although early on, this was a dangerous situation for Calzaghe. He could easily have injured his ankle there. Thank goodness for everybody he didn't. And after that, the rest of the round went very well for Calzaghe. Mitchell taking a lot of punches, and one of the things about Calzaghe, and you see it here, a variety of punches. Yes, they're kind of wide, but he always mixes in the uppercut and some pretty good left hooks. Those are very wide punches, and they shouldn't all be landing against Mitchell.
Calzaghe dominating the opening round, and it's funny, he said he'll use his boxing skills more, which he feels doesn't get enough credit to open up his opponent, but he went right to town. He calls it controlled aggression, and Mitchell told us defense would be crucial. Boy, was he right.
And there wasn't much in that first round. The other thing that Mitchell knew he had to do was counterpunch. He tried, but was very inaccurate. And when I said that Calzaghe had squared himself up to Mitchell, he did on many occasions, but it was Mitchell's failure to be accurate with his punches that really allowed Calzaghe to get away with it.
And back comes Calzaghe again. Yeah, Mitchell intended to be very busy, but Calzaghe just won't give him the opportunity. He has been swarming. And he can't stand right in front of Calzaghe as he's doing here. There's not much movement side to side by Mitchell.
And he is not a fighter that's known for that kind of lateral movement. So, and in this tiny ring, we shouldn't see too much of it. So he's going to have to live or die on his power, which, let's remember, can show up later in a fight like it did against Frankie Lyles. And there's good body work by Mitchell. So as bad as Mitchell... Oh, wow.
Down goes Calzaghe for the first time in his career, and he gets up in wobbly fashion. Unbelievable. Out of nowhere. Midway through the second round, and you called it. There's Mitchell.
He can punch. Calzaghe's in big trouble, and he's not boxing.
Mitchell on the outside. Mitchell goes down. Mitchell got up quickly. 2 knockdowns in this second round. First calzaghe for the first time ever, and then Mitchell for the 5th time in his career. Unbelievable action. Oh, what a shot by calzaghe in what has to be a candidate for round of the year.
We expected a quick start, but nothing like this.
Non-stop action.
Calzaghe's throwing and missing a lot of punches, though. He has to be careful.
It's all over. Dave Paris has stopped the fight near the end of round 2. As Mitchell bounced off the ropes, he says he's seen enough, and calzaghe wins in a wild affair.
Well, there will be some second guessing of that stoppage, to be sure.
Number 1 by Mitchell.
Yeah.
You see his reaction. He's upset.
He had been stunned, there's no question. And, you know, you see Mitchell there while he was distressed. He's one of the more stoic people you'll bump into. And after this wild second round, you think there might be more complaints, but he's not complaining that much. We'll see. Yeah, well, now he is.
Over there for a moment talking with the fight promoter, Frank Warren, as calzaghe is saluted by the sellout crowd of about 5,000. Well, he certainly had the first round in his hip pocket, and then he came out blazing again in round 2. He went down for the first time in his career, and then Mitchell out of nowhere went down.
People have been wondering what would happen to Joe Calzaghe if he faced adversity. And he showed us tonight. He came back with great grit and determination. It wasn't the smartest way to fight that second round. He probably should have boxed, but because he was able to use his power to knock Mitchell down and ultimately get the fight stopped, you have to say that the way he responded to adversity was very, very special.
I wonder, Al, if it was a fight-time decision, something he saw or something he had planned to do going into the fight, abandoning boxing and going for the big punch.
Well, we thought he would be aggressive. Al Bonatti, the trainer of Byron Mitchell, looking down, very distressed, trying to get our attention, trying to protest, but a gritty effort by Joe Calzaghe. And whatever we think of the stoppage, the fact of the matter is he came back with tremendous determination and showed power because he wanted to knock out Byron Mitchell to show that he could do better against Mitchell than Sven Otke, one of the other junior middleweight champions, had done, who went the distance, and some people might have lost to Byron Mitchell.
We saw some ferocious, electrifying exchanges there in round 2 as calzaghe gets the congratulations from the crowd. So the updated numbers on calzaghe, first of all, his 13th successful defense of the WBO super middleweight title. Remains undefeated at 36-0 now, 29 knockouts. And his record in world title fights now 14-0, and here in Cardiff raised to 13-0. Byron Mitchell drops to 25-3, loses 2 straight for the first time, all 3 losses in title fights. And Al Bonatti continues to yell in our direction to try to get your attention.
Well, he claimed, and this is Al Bonatti claiming it, that even the doctor somehow thought it was too quick. That's his statement. So we haven't talked to the doctor, but truthfully, I thought the referee stepped in too quickly because when he bounced off the ropes, he could have called that another knockdown of Mitchell, and probably should have. He went against the ropes, and when you do that from a punch, if they think you're going to go down, they should call it a knockdown. But to stop it without looking at the fighter, and that's what distresses me, when you don't take a moment, look at the fighter, give him a chance to respond, that's when stoppages get called into question.
And you wonder if this fight had taken place in the United States, if the same decision would have been made by the referee.
Certainly that question will be raised by a number of people, and this is the first time, especially in light of the fact that it's the first time Joe Calzaghe's ever been down in his career. And I'm not suggesting that he might not have gotten to Byron Mitchell before that round is over. He might have. He was doing exceptionally well, but he had also thrown a lot of punches and could still have gotten tired in that round. So it'll be debated.
So Byron Mitchell's corner, led by trainer Al Bonatti, who's been with Mitchell about 3 years, protesting the judgment call by the referee, Dave Paris, for stopping this fight, they think prematurely, in the second. Let's get it up to Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 36 seconds in round number 2. Our referee in charge, Dave Paris, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout. He is still undefeated and still the WBO super middleweight champion of the world, Joe calzaghe.
So there's the official announcement.